What's next? 'Cause I'm
Oh
excited.
man, November 1st. If you're in the November 1st, we are doing our second 1v1 showcase. This is going to be the top players in the professional world. We'll have 6 cards. We'll have 2 women cards and 4 men cards. They'll be playing 1v1. It's an amazing event. We have all the community coming out. We got vendors, we got performers, we got DJs, we got photography, we got all the good things. And of course, the donations go towards helping the student athletes with anything they need, from college move-ins to application fill-outs to even going to visit the campus for tryouts. Come out and see some great professional basketball, man. It's not going to be something you want to miss.
We go, man. Pull up to the function.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. You
show
ain't
up.
doing nothing.
You ain't doing nothing
November
anyway.
1st.
November 1st.
God told me to start this podcast, and then he told me to call you. The time is now. You ready?
I got you, T. Let's do it.
Yo, welcome to another week of the Mental Locker Room Podcast. We are so glad to have you, ladies, gents, and non-binary conforming folk. This is your boy, Dr. C, here with my illustrious co-host, Tish Johnson. How you doing this Sunday, Tish?
Let's see. I am blessed, man. So happy to be here. But even more excited. I got something, man. I got something for the people. See, if you are a current or former athlete and you're looking to build income and influence beyond the game, I got something for you. I am taking a handful of clients for private coaching in my new Leadership to Legacy program. Our Locker Room to Legacy coaching program is out. So there'll be a link in the description at our Competitive Edge Leadership Academy. Go ahead and click on that link, book a call, and let's see if it's a fit for you and our Locker Room to Legacy coaching program.
Yeah, man. You finna get me the DeVry man bag, man. Y'all sitting here, you've listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
You stuck in your business. You trying to figure out how to get unstuck. Man, go ahead, man, and hit that link in the description, man. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Get
You
us.
ain't doing nothing anyway.
You ain't doing nothing anyway. You might as well come get this coach. But no, like for real, Tish is a leader in the coaching space. If you're really trying to get that idea off the ground, you're tired of making excuses, she's gonna be the person to link up with, and it's gonna give you a nice community of folks as well. So in that vein, before I tell the new listeners what this is they listening to, we got some folks who is just watching, and we love you for watching. I also need you to hit that subscribe button. I also need to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. It gets our message to more ears. And one thing that I'm a firm believer in is we can't hoard knowledge. We can't hoard the things that we see or that we hear that we feel like is good for us. Share it with other people, see if it's good for them as well. So hit that subscribe button, man. Like, comment, let us know that you're rocking with us, because this is the Mental Locker Room Podcast for the uninitiated. This is a space for former athletes turned entrepreneurs and industry leaders to inspire athletes to find identity, purpose, legacy, and mindset beyond the game. And today's guest, y'all, today's guest is someone who truly embodies resilience and purpose. We got Coach Dominique Stringer. Born and raised in Marietta, Georgia, she earned a full ride scholarship to Lawson State Community College before transferring to Hiwassee College in Tennessee, where she led her team in steals, assists, rebounds, and I keep going. She was a leader on the court, right, before she even decided to lead in the entrepreneur space. And after her college career, she continued chasing the game at the semi-pro level, playing with the Auburn Flyers. But Coach Stringer's story doesn't stop on the court. It expands into the classroom, right, as she is a former educator as well, and she moved to the sidelines as a mentor and coach. And in 2016, she had something placed on her heart. She started Action No Mercy, a nonprofit that has since helped over 100 student athletes earn college scholarships by blending athletic training, academic support, and mentorship. Her journey is about more than just basketball. It's about transformation, how to turn your setbacks and opportunities, and helping young people see themselves as more than athletes. Today, go ahead and welcome Coach Stringer family. How you doing this afternoon?
Hey, you did your research.
Little piece,
That is
little piece.
love. That's love. But I'm happy to be here, man. That was a dope intro. Thank you so much.
You know, I mean, this is one of those things that me and Teach were talking about when we started the podcast about how like the intros are so important because
Absolutely.
we aren't just shooting smoke when we tell you we happy to have you here, right?
Right.
And like as I look up our guests and the things that they've accomplished, I'm not gonna lie, you was another one. Y'all are all my favorites. You are one of my favorites for real, because you
Thank
was a
you.
teacher and I was a teacher. I mean, still a teacher. I'm just in higher ed now, but I spent 5 years in K-12, taught English. That's where me and Teach actually met when we was in the classroom. So I love education with a fervent passion. So when I see someone that's taking our folks, taking our young folks and going, hey, you a student athlete. That hyphen is important. That student does so much work.
Absolutely.
That student does so
Absolutely.
much work. And you putting people in the position to be successful. I used to tell my seniors, it's money out there. Let's go get it. Let's go get
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And speaking of that hyphen, Coach, now you've been known to describe yourself as a class clown
Mhm.
in that
Yeah.
classroom, but an underdog as well, just in life and on the court and everything. Before just finding your path through basketball as a coach, as a leader, all of the things that you've been able to accomplish that C just read off. Just looking back, what were those moments or those mentors that you had in your life where you were like, all right, let me make this shift from being rebellious, young Dominique, to actually being a leader and starting to create different things. Like, what lessons brought you to where you are now?
Man, so I would say, being a class clown in high school, it's always fun and games. You're popular. Everybody want to kick it with you at lunch. You hanging out with everybody. It's cool, but I feel like in those moments when everybody was laughing, have a good time, I didn't have many friends that was telling me I need to get on my stuff. So my grades were bad. I was running in and out of classrooms. I was rapping at the time. I was doing all this stuff, and nobody was like, even though you cool, you got to get your grades right. So I'm watching all my teammates go to the college camps and, getting all these scholarships. And I'm like, how am I trying to do all these things and I can't relate to the people that I want to be following? So with that, my mentor at the time, my counselor told me, like you got to watch who you hang out with. You can't be in these circles trying to be successful. And at that moment, I was like, I want to go to Auburn University. I can't go to Auburn with a 1.8. You know what I mean? So I had to really like lock in and understand that education was something that I needed. So my mom was very hard on me. Even though I wanted to be a rapper, she like, nah, you're not doing no music. You gonna sit down, get in these books. If you're gonna play basketball, you got to figure that out. So my mom played a huge part of influencing me to really change my mindset. And I think the eye-opening thing I had was when I went to Auburn and I saw all these athletes that had the high GPAs, that had the talent, and I'm stuck in Marietta at the time, like, oh, I got it going on. I really didn't have it. So that moment, my junior year, I realized quickly I have to figure this out.
Mm,
Being a class clown was cool, was fun, being popular, but being popular don't go a long way if you ain't got the tools that you need
mm-mm.
in the classroom. So I found out
Yeah.
very quickly that I had to change my mindset for that time.
Wow. Wow. So you was trying to be the Fly J before Fly J, but you ain't
I
want to do the
walk so
work.
she can run.
on the shoulders of
And,
giants.
look,
Listen,
and they both from Georgia. See,
Yeah.
so that's
well, I'm from the Bay, so I got a little wang wang
Woo.
to it, but
okay.
I really,
E40.
I really wanted to be, I really wanted to be a rapper, and my mom was like, "No," I had opportunity to get signed and everything, and she shut it down. So I had to figure this basketball stuff out.
Dang. Hey, man, mamas be knowing best though.
Yeah,
Mamas be
absolutely,
knowing best.
absolutely,
And it's crazy that Auburn trip is what opened your eyes. Because and as the kids say, motion. You went to Auburn and seen what real motion looked like, and went back
absolutely.
home like, man, we ain't doing nothing. We ain't doing that.
I got exposed. I got exposed quick, man. I needed that.
And like I love that because that's some of what you do with your current mentees, right? Is if we see one thing, right? Sometimes we just got to be shown something different, right? And I love
Absolutely,
that the model that you chose for your nonprofit. When it's time for action, give them no mercy. Like
yes,
that is a very purpose driven statement. That when it's crunch time, We go all out, right? And it's become the
Absolutely.
heartbeat of your work. So can you take us from the time where that phrase, when you was cooking that up, right? How you turned that from something for you to something for the community?
Absolutely. I was at Lawson State at the time. I was going into my senior season. The day we were moving out, I had a meeting with my coach and the AD, and we talked about our goals. You know, if I wanted to be here for another year, if I wanted to transfer, what that looked like. And I was like, I'll come back. I mean, in my head, I really want to come back, but I'm like, this is the only choice I got right now. I'm gonna stay. And I went back to my dorm room, and they called me back to the office, and they told me they was releasing me. They said it was bringing in 2 more guards and they wasn't gonna see a fit for me. And at that time, I was crushed. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I haven't been looking at other schools. It's my first year at HBCU. I'm partying and stuff. I'm still not grasping the education part, but I'm grasping that life is hitting me. So when that happened, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Brother at the time, he called me. He's like, "Yo, I got opportunity for you. I know you just left your JUCO. It's a school in Tennessee. They need a point guard." And I'm like, "What is this school? Like, where is it? It's in the middle of nowhere. I never heard of it." But I went out there and did a visit. They offered me a full ride scholarship, paid for everything, and I said, it ain't nothing out here but Walmart, so I can't do nothing but be in the books. Like I gotta get better and be in the books. So I was forced to be somewhere very uncomfortable to make
Mm.
myself realize like I gotta figure this stuff out. So when I got there, it wasn't many of us. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
gotta lock in. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I felt like I was dealing with rejection, and rejection for me
Mm.
made me the strongest person that I am now. So when I got the opportunity, that first game I had, I said, you know what? I'm giving everybody action. I'm finna go hard. Nobody for the score. I'm not doing all that. Ain't no
There you
mercy when I'm
go.
stepping on the court. So every day after every game, I make that my hashtag on Instagram. This when it first came out when hashtags was getting you friends and stuff on there. So I would
Yeah,
hashtag
yeah.
that under every picture. This was back in like 2012, I think. So it was from 2012. I was putting that on every picture. And then I'm like, all right. I'm standing by it. It's like, that's just me. And then, I started my journey on building my nonprofit years later, but it's something that I live by. It's something that I live by since college and it's still to this day, in my corporate work, I'm not going to outdo me. If y'all outdoing me, is a problem. So when I got action, when it's time for me to step into those board meetings or those corporate meetings or coaching mode or training mode, I'm giving everybody no mercy because I feel like, again, rejection has made me who I want to be every time I step in any situation.
Mm. She look like
Right.
she about to come through the screen right now.
Hey, you see that? I'm about to run through a wall with it. I'm like, where we going? Where we going, coach?
Yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
going?
She ready. She ready.
Th-
Man.
that realization, right? Because like that takes a certain level of self-awareness of
Mhm.
I need to go somewhere that's in the middle of nowhere just so I can get my mind right? So I can make sure that I'm maximizing my opportunities. And then you did, right? You did. I specifically want to stay at that moment though of you went somewhere completely different than what you used to be able to hang out. You used to be able to push other things to the side and have a good time with your friends, and you chose to not do that. Be in a place where that was difficult. How was that adjustment period? Because I venture to guess that it wasn't you got there and like, I bet I'm gonna be in the books now for real, for real. It was probably like, I'm gonna try. And then it was like, oh, all right. So like, walk us through that. Like, how was that first semester, that first year at Hawaii?
It was tough. It was very tough. Again, being a few of us, it was a culture shock. It made me realize that I had to I had to stay in part of what I needed to do. I couldn't be the person that they already thought I was. You know, being black is one thing, being a lesbian is another thing, and being a woman is another thing in those kind of areas. So it was three strikes, you're out type of thing. So the first semester I had no choice but again to be in those books. I didn't like to study. I thought I could finesse my teachers. I thought I can go in there and make some jokes and get an A. And quickly it was like, no, you have to do work here. Classes were smaller.
Mm.
It was intimate. So you had to answer the question they called you. You had to turn these assignments. You had to be sufficient in that. So I understand like if I had to play basketball, I can't transfer again. I don't want to have to go through the process of
Mm.
finding another school. So I had to figure it out, traveling from Hawaii to at that time Georgia, I didn't have a car. So, I'm on campus with myself. I have a couple friends back from Atlanta that went to school as well, but I had to really do my work. I had to be on task. I had to be able to do that so I could play basketball. I knew the competition I was playing. I knew my teammates. I knew if I had the opportunity, I'm a show up. Like, I'm gonna be the player of the year. I knew I had that. But in order to keep and maintain that, I really knew that schoolwork was the main goal, and I hated it. I hated it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm majoring in. I'm finna major in basketball. Like, I was just clueless. I was green. But I quickly figured out, like, I'm finna major in psychology. I'm finna learn. It took me so long to focus and lock in to understand these things. And that first year, I was able to get my
Man.
first 3.0, and I was like, okay, this is easy. This is easy. If I can do it like this, I'm gonna graduate with a court, and that's what I did.
And that,
Hey,
man, that's so important. Just getting to that point of self-awareness. Like, I know if I'm in this environment, it's not gonna work. But I gotta put myself in this position because this is how I operate. And then you're like, I'm gonna study this to figure out why I was the way that I was. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
yeah.
And I resonate with it because, like, I always been like, we were the opposite, and I was a good student. Can't even get me to tell a joke in class. Talk to me. She's talk to me after. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I'm the same way. Like you're saying now, the decisions that you made back then are showing up in your life today. So for me, I knew, as serious as I was as an athlete and a student, I know when I got an offer to go play basketball down in Miami, that is not an environment that I'm gonna be able to stay focused in. Can't do it. So I didn't go down there, and then C knows, even, and that's many, many years ago when I was being recruited in high school. But that same opportunity just happened a month ago. I got an opportunity, and I turned down $250,000 because that was in the Miami area, and I'm like, I cannot focus in an environment like that. And so, yeah, I love it. I love it. Man, that's so
Miami
powerful,
will do
and
that.
so many people, so many. See, say I'm,
Miami will do that.
yeah, I've been out there, with look, with friends and stuff like that, and I know
Yeah. It's
that
trouble
nope.
down there.
You'll be back
It's
home
trouble
looking
down
sick.
there.
Like,
Looking crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So yeah, like it's important to know yourself. Um and there are times where I always speak on not allowing other people to box you in, but you, and there's sometimes where you gotta box yourself in just to save yourself from, certain things, so that they don't go left in your life. So, oh man, that's such a blessing to figure that out at that point in your life.
Right.
yeah. And that's
That's
a gem.
necessary.
That's a gem for the future generations, right? So
Mhm.
you are in rare company, Coach Stringer. So because regardless of the path to get there, the obstacles, you somebody that was a full scholarship student athlete. You wasn't on part time. They ain't say, hey, we're gonna let you walk on. They were like, hey, we believe in you, so we're gonna pay this full. So when you think about the lessons that you learned from being a scholarship athlete, that you took with you into building opportunities for the next generation. What were some of those lessons that you picked up and you carried with you when you started the nonprofit?
Man, I picked up that you're worthy. I think that, again,
Mhm.
going back to rejection, you feel like you don't deserve things or you can't have things. When I got my scholarship, I felt I went to a lot of trials. I think I went to maybe 4 or 5 trials coming out of senior year, and I got turned down by a couple of them. And it was, package deals. If you come, we need this big. If this big don't come, you can't come, or you're not tall enough. And when I got those scholarships, I had to understand that timing wasn't for me. It wasn't that I wasn't worthy. It's that they didn't see my vision that I saw for myself. And they didn't believe in
Mhm.
what I knew I could display. So I feel like when I made my nonprofit, I targeted underdogs. I wanted to work with underdogs. I wanted to work with people who was getting overseen in those communities that
Mhm.
didn't have the support, that mentorship, that leadership. I
Yeah.
wanted to really give an opportunity to those kids. And in St. Louis, that's exactly what I did. So I always go back to what I went through, being overlooked, being overshadowed, being not given a chance. So every time I saw an athlete that I felt like I saw myself in, I picked him up. I picked him
Mhm.
up and I did exactly what I wanted to have when I was a kid. And it was a mentorship and an opportunity.
You're worthy. Like I know that was specifically like what can we tell our athletes, but everybody, everybody
yeah.
needs to hear that. You are worthy. Thank you for that,
Yeah.
Coach Strink, taking us through that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So many people, especially students, like just knowing that you're enough in this world. Because we all face rejection and it ain't gonna stop till you
Yeah,
go under. You're gonna be told no, all of these things, but it's like, you go after what it is that you want
sure.
and what you were placed here to do and realizing that you are worthy, you know.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to take it to a low, but so many people they don't see themselves as that, and they end up taking their lives because they don't see or feel their worth, or they don't have they're not in the right environment, or they don't have the right people around them pouring into them, where really it starts internally, and then you kind of shape that, who you have around you that can pour into you, so that you don't get into those deep thoughts that you feel like you aren't worthy and you don't have
Yep.
anything, so why am I here?
Right.
So man, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you played at the collegiate level, you played semi-pro, and then you transitioned into coaching and teaching, and that's a major transition.
It is.
It's big, right? I think for me that first record, the first time I start coaching, I'm like, okay, now I see why my coaches why they felt like that, why they were doing that.
Mhm.
Boom, that's when I locked in. So for you, like, what was the hardest identity shift from you going from player to coach and teacher, where you're like, I got a bigger purpose beyond the game? Because I think, a lot of us, we figure out that we're better coaches than we were players.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that what was the biggest shift for you?
It was a hard transition. I have to say, I
Mm,
was lost. I went through a depression state,
mm.
because I didn't know
Mm,
life outside of basketball. I'm
yeah,
like, "Well, if I ain't playing, well, how can I still be a part of this? How can I still make an impact in the game? What's
yeah,
gonna allow me to still be there?" And I didn't truly enjoy playing, semi-pro. I had a chance to go
okay,
overseas. I got my first
mhm,
contract to go to Greece, I think my junior year of college, turned it
yeah,
down. So I wanted to stay here close to family, and when I played on the semi-pro team, the goal was to get developed by the D1 players that were on my team and those players that played in the Big Tens and all that stuff. I didn't get it. My coach was a great person, but for me, just the opportunity wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I didn't enjoy it.
mm,
I didn't feel like it was something I really wanted to do. So me not playing for that team anymore was easy, but me having to drive not to play anymore was hard. So I
mm,
think the transition for me to figure out how to still be a part of the basketball world was trying to figure out how I could. And I think one day I got a call and they asked me if I wanted to coach, and I'm like, no. What am I I don't wanna coach, like, I wanna hoop, yeah, I still got it, I'm young.
yeah,
But I stepped in the gym and I saw these players and I said, "Oh, that's not right. Like, the things they're doing aren't right." And instantly, I'm like, "Okay, I got an eye for the game, like, that's not gonna change. If I can
yeah,
train this one person, maybe I like it." I love the first time I walked in the gym, I loved it, and I said, "Okay, well,
yeah,
this might be my next turn." So, after that, I started getting, different calls for different coaching opportunities, and I kept growing, and then I had one of the biggest clienteles in St. Louis for training. During COVID, I had my own gym. I used to have all the kids, come pull up, take a little temperature at the door, make sure that's cool. But I used to have like training camps and tournaments going on. I used to have college coaches come and watch them play. Got a lot of scholarship offers during COVID for kids that, again, weren't being seen. And I
yeah,
realized, like, okay, you can still make an impact with the game of basketball, even if you ain't playing. And I did not want to teach at all. I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't
mm,
want to do any of this stuff. It just happened so crazy. I was working in a facility with behavior, and they was like, if you want to get this pay grade, you gotta go back to school and get a degree. I'm like,
mm,
y'all gonna pay for it? They're like, yeah. I said, okay, cool. So
yeah,
I went to go
Say
get it.
less.
I got my degree in that, and I was really focused on special education. I love to do IEPs and understand function of things, and I was there for 7 years. And then after COVID happened, I said, I can't do no more walking in the bathroom with TikToks. I can't do the kids falling asleep. I can't do it. So I said, you know what? I'm retired after year 7. and I'm gonna give it to those who really, want to go further with it. I was at my end
Mm.
speak, so that was that. That was that.
Yeah, most teachers need to have that conversation. That is I always say that's a perfectly fine conversation to have with yourself as an educator. Is, I was in here for this amount of time. Don't need to be in here no more. This is because one thing that they don't tell you that teaching a young man's game. Like, yes, you get some knowledge from experience, and like there's things that you can learn, but that connection with the students that you really need to really like. When I first got in the classroom, I was like, okay, this ain't like I taught high school. My students are listening to Gucci Mane. Gucci had just got out. I'm like, yeah, I like Gucci Mane too. And then I found that as the years went on, like the disconnect was getting was getting wider. And I was like, dang, this is my superpower. If I don't have my superpower no more, I need to where else can I go with this? And special education is not an easy field. So I want to give you your flowers for that. Like I love hearing that you like writing IEPs because that make my job easy. Because what I got to do is on the paper. I just got to read the paper.
I mean, but you got to take the time to understand why these students need minutes. It's a lot of educators that I feel like personally don't really care about these kids. And I would sit down for hours doing pulling time and understand why you need these many minutes or why don't you have these many minutes. So I had to really understand why these kids, because some people see a kid with a maybe a ADHD and they automatically assume they're a bad student. No, you just gotta make something lock into them that they understand and it catches their attention. So I took my job very serious, understanding why we get these minutes. How can we make this kid not just be in the classroom saying that they need minutes because they're different? No, we're gonna make a plan for you to understand like you are just like any other student, and this is why this is gonna coincide with this. So I enjoyed making that plan because I made sure it was a real plan.
Hey, love that. Hey, you won't get no pushback from me on teachers not wanting to do their job sometimes. And it's no disrespect to my folks in the classroom because I know how hard it is. But some of y'all don't want to do your job, and I'm gonna say that too. Like there are some folks that you just don't want to work hard, and I got nothing for that. I got nothing for that.
Yeah. And it shows. It shows. I was at a school not too long ago, speaking to a group of students, and I'm asking them about, their experience and what would make school better, like where they feel like, because we're talking about attendance, why don't you come to school and what would encourage you to come more consistently and on time and those types of things. And they flat out said the teachers got bad attitudes. They don't want to be there. So what, like they don't make it enjoyable to even come to school. So that's the first thing that needs to change. I made them write it. Look, I made them write it down. See,
Yeah.
look, I handed it over to the guidance counselor. Y'all, here it is.
Because it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch that. Like to go back to our time in sports, right? I hate that person that's at practice waiting for practice to end. Bro, we already got to be here. Don't waste my time going through the motions. Don't if we gonna be here. Like you said something earlier, Coach Stringer, that like it reminded me of what my coach said. Ain't nobody outworking me today, bro. And like once I realized that, like once you realize that you are competing against you every day, the mundane things become easy.
Yeah.
Because it's me versus me. Right?
Absolutely.
So I got 15 minutes to do something that's boring. How do I maximize these 15 minutes? So, and I think that athlete, your continued education, your time and as a special education teacher, you've really been able to challenge the perceptions of not just the teachers with the students, but the students of themselves. Right. So how has your work in education shaped the way that you help build confidence and resilience in your athlete?
Man, same plan. You have to really sit down and understand the athlete and the student. I think when I was teaching, again, I had to make plans. I had to understand the student at the time, understanding why and how I can make them better. Same thing with basketball. The first initial thing when somebody comes to try out or you watch their game tape, you already see their flaws and their good things. You watch a highlight tape, coach, you can attest. When you watch a highlight tape, it's a clip of all good things they do. They're never going to have their faults in there. Them turning over the ball, missing layups, or air ball and jump shots. You're never going to see it in the highlight reel. So you see all the good things in that clip. And then when you see them in your face, you get to really like break down the things that you didn't know. So it's like a hidden figure. And for me, I enjoy that because again, I like to spot out the things you probably don't see in yourself, so that I can push you to be better than what I see the first time. So for me, when I'm working with athletes, I'm not trying to firstly see what you're good at and make that better. I want to work on everything that you're flawed in. If you can't shoot with your left hand and layup, I'm going to make that hour we have together is all different work. If you can't see dribbling up, looking up when you're dribbling for the whole 30 minutes of dribbling sessions, you're gonna be looking at me when you're dribbling. So I'm very detail oriented. So I'm gonna watch everything that you're flawed in so that I can make you better before you can say, oh, I'm still good at this. If I'm making you better, I'm gonna keep working on your good things so I can make you better in your flawed things. So I'm very detailed. I like to watch the flawed things and I like to get after that part first.
Mm, mm. Coach, you use them the little goggles where they can't look down when they
No,
dribble?
I use that. I looked a fool. I was running. I was going
See,
crazy. I was going cross-eyed and trying to look through it. Man,
I hate the
yeah.
goggles, man.
They work though. They work.
They work. Yes. But see, if you ain't never seen it, you a football guy, man, it's these goggles. That's how I asked her. I know she was gonna die laughing. See, it's
Hmm.
these geckos, and they got like a barrier right here. So when you're dribbling, you can't look down unless you literally put your head all the way down, and then it's clear that you're looking down. So that just makes you, keep your head up so that you can see the full court while you're dribbling the basketball, and then obviously, you become a better ball handler. But yeah, coach, I'm with you.
It ain't
That's
for the
it.
weak. It's not for the weak, man. That thing right there, listen, that's like punishment.
Yeah. Man, and they be hot too, and then you take them off, and he be eyes hurt,
Yeah,
all
you
this
wear
sweating.
goggles.
That's exactly
Yes.
what it is. But they like basketball ball handling goggles.
Yeah.
That's
They
exactly what it
work. They
is.
are so good. It's so good.
Yeah. But coach, you coach male and female athletes at different levels, AAU, semi-pro, all of the things, high school. So like is your approach any different at those different levels, with the different genders? How do you approach that? And are there like any challenges that you seen that they face? Like boys are different from girls, with the things that they go through and the challenges that they face in life and sports in general. So what differences or similarities have you seen, and how does that maybe change your approach even a little bit if it does?
Well, so with high school and AAU, these
Hmm.
kids, of course, they're gonna be more hungry because they trying to go somewhere, and
Yeah.
they know they mom and dad
Mhm.
paid fees for them to be there. So if they can't be a part of something, they're gonna, they feel like they can't go anywhere else in certain programs, or they feel like they have to give more. I'll say,
Yeah.
when I coached high school boys and when I coached high school girls, I had the same approach. I
Okay.
had to walk on eggshells at first because I deal with a lot of athletes who have trauma. So I had to make
Mm,
sure that I wasn't going too hard on some and I wasn't too soft with others. So
okay.
with that in the back of your mind, when I start coaching professional men and women, my approach was going into being harder on the male than the female
Mm,
at this time,
mm-hmm.
because at this point I'm coaching between 21 and 44-year-old men. My
Mm,
thing is I'm 5'5", I'm looking at all my players, I'm thinking they'll come at me crazy. And I've never
yeah.
experienced that. It was respect. And then I have the women
Yeah.
where I tend to think that I have to be more soft because, us women, sometimes we might have a bad day. We might think it's personal. So
Yeah.
I thought that I had to be more timid with them. No, I can be me with them.
Yeah.
My man, my boys,
Yeah.
my 44s, my 21, 22, 23, 24, they are big
Yeah.
teddy bears.
Yep.
So I have to, and I said this on another podcast that, when I was coaching my man, even now, we're in season now, when I'm yelling at these men, when I'm breaking them down to build them up as a Black woman, you don't expect the outcome you get. The yes, ma'am, the yes, all those things. And it's like, they give you this exterior that they're hard and they just mean and tough. But after practice, coach, can I have a hug? I had a long day. I had a bad morning.
Mm,
I'm going through this. I'm going that. I really need this. Thank you.
yeah.
I love you. I need you.
Yeah.
I felt like I had more men who needed me than the women and young ladies I worked with. So I'm dealing with
Mm,
trauma-based men
Mm.
who
yeah.
have who have abandonment issues, that have rejection issues, they got neglect issues, they got drug use, that they had to overcome, jail time that they don't understand why they had to serve. So I'm dealing with a lot of Black
Mm.
men who are dealing with trauma, and then they come on the court, and before you know these stories, they so angry. They send a pick and try to
Yep.
knock somebody out. They trying to go up on a layup and just miss. It's that kind of anger that you don't understand if you don't take
Mm.
time to learn your players. So, I do a lot of mental health days with my players. We have to sit down and talk about these things. So we sit uncomfortably and we talk about all kind of things, from, again, resentment, adoption, abandonment, neglect, not seeing
Yeah.
their kids, not having family, all these things. And I did not understand when I was walking as a coaching man, professional man, that I was gonna have these kind of stories. But we're like family now, so like they come talk to it. Sometimes it's too much. Like y'all done talk to me for 4 hours. Y'all gonna call me again. Um, but my guys are my big teddy bears to me, to the world. They look like the stereotypically kind of names that you give Black men. But again,
Mm.
I'm allowing them to stay out of jail. They can't be in jail if they in practice 4 times a week, or they awaits
Yeah.
for they can't be in jail. I mean, they could. They have to do some extra time to leave work, come work out for 3 4 hours, and then go home and get in trouble. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to eliminate those paths to where they can get in trouble. So I think the
Mm.
approach has always been go in hard, go in tough, with love, and then understand who you're coaching or who you're pouring into. So it's not like you just coach people and you don't care about them. Because I care about
Yeah.
each and every one of these players, and they'll tell you that.
Yeah. And that's so important. I tell people all the time, like, coaching, like the actual game, is like 1%
Mm-hmm.
of what you do as a coach. Everything you the mom, you the sister, you the auntie, you the therapist, you the everything when you decide, because coaching is a calling. And people, they're gonna bring, when they trust you, because that's the biggest
Mhm.
thing. They trust you and they care about you. They don't want to let you down and stuff like that. So they're gonna come to you with these issues. And if you don't know how to take some of that stuff in and
Mm-hmm.
give them exactly what they're looking for and be able to be tender to their emotions and things like that, they might play for you, but they're not gonna play, like, they might play on your team, but they ain't gonna play for you. They're not gonna run through a wall for
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
And that's, man, that's so important. And like you said, that, like, you don't even think about that stuff when you're coaching a professional team full of 21 to 44-year-old men, of saying like, this is, I got all this anger built up. I've gone through all these things. Basketball is my outlet, and I got a coach that I can go, that I'm cool with, that I can go have these conversations with. How did you, let me ask you this though, with such heaviness to some of the things that they came to you with and trusted you with, what did you find yourself doing any work behind the scenes just for yourself to kind of not take that stuff home with you, and have it like bog you down and burn you down mentally?
Yeah, man. I talk to my own therapist, about these
Mm.
things because, when you take on different emotions and feelings, it's
Yeah.
heavy. That's why I don't want to be a therapist. I'm like, I can't keep pouring into these families, trying to save these families, and then I'm going home and I have zero in my tank. So for me, I really just try to, I practice with them, and then I give them the hour to talk to me. And after
Okay.
that hour for the night, we have no more communication. Unless something just drastically happened, we have no more
Yeah.
communication. The next day you can call me, or if need be. But
Yeah.
when I go home, my wife is like, you know what, relax. This is what we doing. No more basketball. It's us time. So that definitely helps out a lot to have somebody
Shout
that's
out to the
that's
wives.
kind of that's there to kind of keep you balanced. But it can be heavy. I dealt with a lot of different scenarios. I went through suicide with one of my kids that tried to, take his life. So it was a lot of different heavy things that
Mm.
I deal with, but I always try to make sure I am that open door because again, with Black men, my women as well. I don't have to deal with as much with my women because they take care of themselves. I won't say more than men, but they'll go into take the next step before a man has pride. They'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to
Yeah,
talk to nobody. I do it myself." So I
for
get more of
sure.
those conversations with my men because they have to talk to me. We're together for hours throughout the week, and they feel I'm genuine. I'm never going to just put on a face and not be real. If I'm there for you, I'm there for you on or off the court. Because when that ball starts dribbling, we are family. That's all I want around me is the family part of it. So, with the heaviness again, I just I make that boundary of this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna deal with, and then I'm back to my life so I can make sure I'm sane enough to be your coach the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Gotta keep that cup full. Gotta keep that cup full. Because next thing you don't, next thing you know, you popping off on them, and now they can't even come to you about their problems because you the problem.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So let's talk about your nonprofit Action No Mercy. You have now helped hundreds and hundreds of athletes secure scholarships. What's a story maybe for one of your athletes that really encompass the heart of why you even started Action No Mercy in the first place?
Hmm.
It ain't no favorite. This is not a favorite. So go ahead and tell your story, but I want to put the disclaimer out there for all your wonderful athletes. Just
Yeah,
whoever
that's like, dang,
stories
why you
that
talking
she
about me,
picked.
coach?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I already see that. I got your back
You know
because
how
I
they
know how
be.
they.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with my her name is Sophia Reed. Sophia Reed was in St. Louis. During COVID, she came to my gym. I had a ladies' night. I used to do theme runs. I had a ladies' night. And during ladies' night, all the top hoopers in St. Louis came out and hooped for like 2 hours. I saw her, I said, dang, like you good. Like, let me work with you. I just recruitment stuff. Let me try to, whatever. And she was like, cool, we'll talk. I never heard from her again. I think this was her sophomore year of high school. And then her senior year, her mom reached out to me. No, I reached out to the family. I told the family I want to help them. And mom was like, we just prayed about this. We just prayed for help. And you came at a perfect time. And I'm like,
Mm,
oh, it sounds good. Like, people say that, like, okay, it sounds
yeah,
good.
you're an
We had a
angel.
meeting. Yeah. She had 0 offers at the time. She had a 4.0. She had a highest no, she had a 4 point. She had over a 4.0, but she was the highest GPA in her class,
Hmm.
the best player on her team, 0 offers. It was something about her. I just really wanted to work with her. So I told her mom, I said, this is gonna happen really fast. I said, as soon as we sign Sophia, she's gonna get like 10 offers. I signed her on
Mm,
a Friday. That Sunday, she had 11 offers.
wow.
Yeah, 11 offers. And again, with a 4.0, coach, you get a 4.0, that's a presidential scholarship, that's a
Yeah.
full ride,
Yeah.
that's an
Yeah.
academic. You're getting different kinds of scholarships. So it wasn't just
Hmm.
basketball. She was getting presidential scholarships. She was getting
Yeah.
all these things. Throughout the year, she got hurt. She tore some of her leg. She couldn't play for a while. And I'm like,
Mm,
how are we supposed to work with this young lady with her game tape and things if she's hurt? She sat out for a
mm,
couple months. I think she came back like that following January. During that time, she was still getting offers because she had game tape from beginning of the season and junior year. When it was time to commit, I think I flew to Dallas for a day too. So we flew to Dallas for a visit, flew back the next
hmm.
day, got the offer. When it came to commitment time, I think she had like 30, 30 offers in a
Wow.
year. So
That's
she
crazy.
committed. She went to Amherst in Chicago. She's now in school to be a physical therapist.
Okay.
So with the 4.0, like that's probably one of my proudest stories because it shaped the women's side of Action on Mercy for high school athletes. To see somebody in their senior year with 0 offers go from 0 to 30 plus and then go
Yeah.
to school on a full ride and now in school to be a doctor. That was one of my proudest moments. I still talk to her this day. She came out to Atlanta last year. I showed her around overtime and I, took her around the building, gave her a workout. But she's one of my proud stories. I'm so proud of her to this day. She helped me be a better coach as well. So yes, shout out to
Yeah.
Sophia.
Shout out to Sophia.
Yeah,
Congratulations, young lady.
yeah. 0 to
Yeah.
30 is crazy.
Yeah,
That's good
Yeah,
work, coach. That's
that's
good
why.
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate that.
That's how important is that to have somebody that I'm gonna put in the work as the athlete.
Yeah.
But I need the right people around me too, that can push the talent, get it out there, get the eyes on me, and really package this thing so that, I can be seen to even get 30 offers. So important. So important.
Right. That was a fun year.
Yeah, it sounds like successes helping, watching someone be able to grow in that space, face something that it could devastate folks, right? Injuries took
Yeah.
out the best of them, and then
Hmm.
still finish strong and then live out their dreams. Man, I love to hear it. I also love athletes with 4.0s. I'd love to hear more of that. More of that. More of that, please.
Yeah.
You know, you're really intentional about building your athlete profiles outside of just game film. Like you mentioned previously, like you don't even really like talking about the things that you do well. I'm trying to help you get the things that you don't do well right up, right? So you also your athletes have the game film. You look at interviews. You look at academics. Again, she looks at academics. For you folks that are in this lane, not looking at academics, why do you feel like it's important for you to center the whole student athlete? And how do you balance pushing for the performance with the nurturing and personal growth for these young people?
Like I told you before, I was not the student athlete. I was the athlete, you know? And like I said, I have to I like to lead by example. So what am I doing telling a player or a student that they need to be doing this if I ain't do it for myself?
Mm,
So when I tell people these advice, it's because I've been through the opposite path that I don't want them to be on. So when I'm saying, your grades gotta be first, because no coach gonna recruit you. I don't care if he's
Mm,
Michael Jordan. No coach is going to
no.
recruit you if you can't pass a class or understand X's and O's. Why am I
Yeah.
trying to coach you if you don't understand concepts of what to be on the court? And that comes from learning. You're gonna always
mhm,
learn. So me, it's really, when you trying to pour into athletes, or you trying to motivate them to do schoolwork, or you trying to do anything to make them a better person, it's really just wanting to see them be great. I could be great
Mm,
all day and I could want you to be great, but if I'm
yeah.
not for you, you can't tell me, hey coach, I want to go D1 and I'm pushing to be that and you're not matching my energy because now I'm doing more
mhm,
than you. I'm
Mm,
investing more than you. And that means you really don't want it. So now we're wasting each other's time. So my thing is always, if you come to me, you have to have clear intentions of what you want out of yourself, because I'm going to always push you times 10, whatever you tell me. If you say, hey, coach, I don't want to play basketball, I want to go to school and I want to go to the space. I don't know so much about NASA, but I'll try to connect you with somebody who does. So
yeah.
I just always want people to know that when you're trying to be these things in life, you have to dedicate the right time, craft, and mindset to be there. And if I can ever help you get there, whether it's again basketball or just being in school to understand, okay, I gotta really get these grades, I'm gonna always try to do my best to get that and do that for you. Did
I
I
Mm,
answer
love
your
that.
question?
Yeah, because that's
Okay,
heavy.
okay.
What I pick up heavy. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know energy. Like I
Yeah,
done
mhm.
I done been there. Right. And
yeah,
and like when you work with teenagers, that's the one thing that you pick up quick in the classroom is don't nobody want to listen to anybody that ain't been through nothing. Right.
absolutely.
So my superpower is letting you know, like, I ain't gonna lie, I was a mix between you, Coach Stringer, and Tish. Cause we gonna cause a little mischief and I'm still gonna get this 4.0. So I'm really finna make my teacher upset because I'm in here acting a donkey and I know the work. So you can't
Yeah,
even like, what are you gonna really say? And like, so I didn't have that part for my students. School ain't never been difficult. That's why I'm Dr. C. School has just been easy. But what I can
right.
tell you is I was able to do both, right? I was able to act a clown, but I could read. I could do my math. If you can't do one
Mm,
of the, if you struggling with one, baby, you need to put your academic identity out there. We need to get that together.
yeah.
Uh, so I love hearing that you yourself, and that's what young people need more of. More adults willing to let folks know that we done been through something, right? And that's how they gonna get through it. And
Absolutely.
it's paid you back in dividends. You've grown this business, right? You coming up on a decade next year. 2016 was a long time ago. It hurt me to say, but in that decade, you've built the platform and you've changed over 100 lives. But I know it wasn't easy. So talk to us about what were some of the barriers to building this nonprofit that you went through on the business side. How did you overcome those barriers to make this a reality?
Rejection plays the biggest, even to
Mm,
today. I honestly say that. I always laugh because I hear those things like, dang, like, you doing this, you doing that. And I'm very much so, and my wife tells me all the time, I don't get to see the fruits of my labor because I'm so focused on I'm not doing enough. And when I was building Action on Mercy, there was a lot of confusion for myself. So how can I see greatness and y'all see it before me? So it was a lot of
mm,
confusion there. And for me, building the aspect of training, first was just training, finding clients. I'm new in St. Louis. These people don't know me. They ain't ever heard of me. Like, how do I get clients? All it took was that one time I walked into the gym and I started to train that one group and it just started to fall in line. So then I had to go into coaching. At the time I was coaching high school, I said, okay, my ego kicking in now. Like, well, I'm coaching high school. I need to be doing this. I should be doing more. I got selfish. So why am I getting selfish and getting over hungry when my process was moving smoothly? I was training, I'm coaching high school, it's working great, and I'm getting hungry and I'm getting selfish. Setback happened. I had to deal with real life at the time. God got a funny way of showing you things. So then I
Yeah.
got back on my feet. Then I started coaching AAU. Okay, now I got one of the top programs in St. Louis. I'm sending all these kids to college. Okay, now it's working. It's working. Okay, now I'm coaching college. Oh, I ain't like that. This not for me. This not for me. Now I'm dealing with politics. I'm dealing with
Mm,
strong politics of,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
oh, well, you
sir.
got to be this kind of player, that kind of player. You got to look this certain way. You got to walk this kind of way. I'm like, I don't like that. Then it's back to action on mercy. Okay, what we're gonna do now? We're gonna move back to Atlanta. Okay, move back to Atlanta. I'm coaching a team right here. I said my pro team. Oh, this not for me. This not working. This not my identity. I want my own. Now I got to build my own
Mm,
team. Now people got to understand I'm not Dominique from back in Marietta when I was rapping and being popular. Now I'm an adult. I'm back here. I got to find grown men to play on my team. How do I deal with that? Oh, we don't want to play for no woman. We don't want to play for her. We're not supporting
mm,
this. Now it's working. I'm getting all these top players. I got one of the best programs. It's working. It's working. Okay, let's start a women's team. Oh, we're not playing for you. Did you who are you? I'm dealing with that now. So, now I got two successful women team. I mean, man and women team. I got my reputation for helping kids in high school. Okay, now how do I get grants? How I get this building? Who do you know? Hey, I'm reaching out to you. Can I interest you in being an investor for my business? No. Can you support? No. Will you do this? No. Can you sign for this building? No. So rejection is the biggest thing that I have to deal with within, being an entrepreneur. But so many blessings that came out from it. People don't see the ugly behind it. They see the Instagram posts, the
mm,
YouTube
Mm-hmm.
videos, they
yep.
see all this good stuff. But the story behind how to build this, when I tell people that my business saved my life, this journey has
Mm,
saved my life. And again, you wouldn't understand the journey of why I go so hard because you're not in my shoes. So when I say rejection, even to this day, helps me keep climbing and keep showing to myself that I can do it. Because so many people say no, that keeps me going every day to start something new, to help something new, to keep pointing to my community. So with that, the biggest thing that I've had to deal with again is rejection.
mm,
Mm.
mm. That reminds me, like, I'm sure everybody knows the TV show, Shark Tank. And those
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs go on there, they looking for these investments from these sharks. Everybody say no, but it's like you can walk out of there with no deal and just
Mm-hmm.
give up, or you can decide I know I have something good. I've gotten the exposure from this at least. Let me continue to push.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so many success stories of not you didn't get a deal in there, but somebody seen you and gave you that yes, and you just continue to go, and then now you got this multi-million-dollar
Mm-hmm.
business because you didn't just give up at the first sign of rejection. So that's, man, salute to you, right? Of
Thank you.
using rejection, using those no's as stepping stones. And that's why I always say, in the sales industry, like every no gets you closer to that yes.
Yep.
And sometimes you gotta be your own yes. I'ma
Yep.
just bust through this thing. Like I'ma break down the barriers. Whoever gonna be with me and wanna help me along the way, come on. But whether you come or not, I'm going.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I I love it. And so let's talk about that. Like, so you've built something before. You've built a professional men's basketball team, and you lost it all. And then it redirected and you started Action No Mercy. So how did you navigate that, what may have been disappointment at the time, and another form of rejection where, all right, you're like, I'm going to be resilient in this, and allow it to fuel the impact that you're making right now.
For sure. So, well, when I moved back down to Atlanta 2 years ago, I actually was asked to coach this semi-pro team out here. And
Mm-hmm.
at first, it was like, okay, it's an introduction. I can coach this team, get my
Yeah.
face out there, be a part of the basketball community. Let me just start shaking hands, rubbing elbows.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't match up to what I was looking for. Um,
Mm.
the community was it would end. It just didn't stand for me. And I think I'm really big on being my own person as well. I don't like to be under anybody else, and that's just a me
Yeah.
thing. So I had to decide if I wanted to stay with that team or
Mhm.
start my own team. And I thought the smartest thing to do in that time was to really just let that team go and start my own. And during that time, I felt like a barrier was lifted over me. I feel that really weighed me down. Like I didn't have the freedom to be
Mm.
me.
Mm.
So
I got you.
me starting my own program has been, I like to be in control of things. I'm very business oriented. I like things to be a certain way. I like practice time
Yeah.
to be this. I like travel to be this. I got itinerary for everything. But
Yeah.
in that time, I feel like I just jumped into something just to say I was doing something when I moved back to Atlanta, and because I did that, it did not go the way I needed to go because I
Mm.
was eager to do something to do it, and it wasn't a purpose for me
Mm.
to do it. But I will say, it gave me
Mm.
the opportunity to connect with people, to allow myself to branch out and start my own team, to meet other men that was able to play on my team. So, I think everything happens for a reason. That reason for me for that team just didn't align with what I was looking for.
Mm. That's so important. So many people need to hear that. You said you were on purpose to be there, and so many people are afraid to pivot when they need to pivot. They rather sit in the burden and be weighed
Hmm.
down every single day just because it's a certain opportunity or whatever. When really the blessing is in letting go.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely.
Man, man, that's some good stuff.
And I wanted to circle back to something you said previously, talking about how your identities shape how you move through the all the things that you've been moving through, right? Sports, the business, and you mentioned the last one that you mentioned is stuck. You was like, and I'm a black woman. And I felt that in my spirit. I felt that in my spirit. Like y'all don't understand. I'm a black woman having to do all of this, right? Leading sports,
Woo.
being in education. You have to. You're moving through all these spaces as a black woman, and I want to just know, how do you handle, you know, as a black woman in male-dominated industries? Uh, what strategies have you used to turn that into a strength for you?
Good question. Let's see. I like to study. I study everything that I'm finna do. So in the world of recruitment high school kids or coaching high school kids, if you notice, there's so many men that's coaching these young girl AAU teams or these high
Yes.
school women teams. And I sit back and I study. Okay, if they're coaching this team, if they're coaching this program, what are they doing that they're not getting outcome from? Okay, so I saw this, right? I saw that these high schools don't have kids going to college. Okay, so nobody's doing this. Why not start recruiting? So
Mm.
Mm.
I start recruiting. Um, when it came to college, when I was coaching college, they had no kids knowing what to do after they graduated. Okay, cool. Let's build some mentorship to understand what they can do after graduation. If they don't play basketball anymore, let's try to figure out what the aftermath is. If they don't go overseas or if they don't go to pros, what can we do? Okay, cool. Start a semi-pro team. Okay, so these semi-pro teams are playing. Okay, they're all male driven. As a woman, what am I gonna do? When I walk
Mhm.
in that gym, they could talk to me all day online on our business page. You don't know who's the face of this. You see my logo and you see that. So when I first started my nonprofit, a lot of coaches would instantly write me and say, "Hey, bro, what up, man? Hey, I need this player." They
Mm.
had no idea I was a woman, you know. So I didn't start
Wow.
showing my face till like 2020, 2021. That's when they started to realize I was Coach Stringer. So even now, when teams are writing to play our pro teams, unless they
Mhm.
go deep diving at our pages and know I'm Coach Stringer, but they're writing, "Hey, bro, and we finna give you the smoke, da da da." Oh, when I walk in the gym, you gonna feel my presence. I'm coming in fly. My
Yeah.
outfit gonna rock. I know
Yeah.
my stuff. I come in my board. The way I coach. A lot of men don't coach in this profession. A lot of men are ex players, are players that never play basketball. They have a group of guys that want to play, and they'll come out and just be in the gym. I'm different. I come in, I game plan. I got my board. I'm strategizing. I'm calling the timeouts. I'm talking to my players. I'm putting them in positions. So I sit back and I study who's doing what, so that I can create a mind in my goal. I'm at goal in my mind that I'm gonna mess stuff up. Oh, you do this? Oh, watch. You do the same thing I do. It's not gonna be the same. You record your games, but watch how mine have all the effects. Watch how my
Yeah.
social media has its presence. Watch how I have all these mixtapes of different players. Watch how we do content based. I sit back before I do anything. I sit back and try to figure out how I gotta do something different. So I'm always thinking about, like, besides just me being a woman, I'm gonna beat you at anything you do because I'm a 10 steps ahead of you because I'm sitting down watching exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I gotta give you flowers too, because you started this with the question we asked about the being the class clown. You was like, I wasn't the best student. What you just described though is some of the best student characteristics. I'm going to outstudy you. I'm going to out X's and O's, out strategize you, and no matter who you're playing, they can have the best players over there. Anybody can get out coached in the dead week, boy. Like it really, like you can get
Absolutely.
out strategized out there.
Yeah.
If you ain't paying attention. So I love hearing that, your journey made you into a student, right? You're a
Yeah.
student of the game. You're a student of where you want to go, watching the folks who are already there, like, bet, this how I'm going to take his spot. This how I'm going to get into that position and then elevate from that position. That, like, if folks listen, if you take something from, like, you got to take that. She said learning never is going to stop. You're always going to
Absolutely.
learn. So you can figure out how to be a good student now.
Mm-hmm.
But life gonna teach you at some point,
Hey.
but you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna learn
You
today.
gonna learn.
Absolutely.
You gonna learn either way. For
Absolutely.
sure. For sure. And that's important too. Like you can tell how passionate you are about it. So it doesn't even, I'm sure it doesn't even feel like work. It's like I'm getting ready to go dominate. And you love when you're in your zone, you're in your pocket. It's like it's nothing to you, and hours will go by. But
Yeah.
and that's the thing. When you ain't a good student in certain things, it's because you don't really care about it.
Yeah.
You
You're
ain't.
bored.
It,
Facts.
well, yeah. So you've carried a ton of different titles. You've been a coach, mentor, community leader, CEO, all of the things, teacher. Which one of those identities, in a sense, do you feel like is most core to who you are? I know you want to say all of them, but which one? And how do you balance the demand of all of those things? We wear all these hats. Then it's like, all right, how do we balance all of this? Is this a lot?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good question. I would say for sure, with all those different hats, I'm just gonna go with mentor. I think
Mm,
that I think I'm gonna choose mentor because my purpose here is just to teach one. Each one teach one. I think being a mentor, you're already teaching somebody when you pour into them. You don't have to walk around. I feel like when you say you're a CEO, if I want to pop my stuff, if I want to, boost, yeah,
yeah,
CEO. That I'm gonna have that status,
boss
But
dog.
walking, I don't walk around. I'm very humble, so I don't always walk
Yeah,
around with that CEO mindset unless I got to pop it on somebody. But
yeah.
again, mentorship for me, again, it's my life. Being a mentor is my life because not only am I a mentor, I'm a mentee. So I'm soaking
Mhm.
in knowledge and I'm pouring into the next. So for me, teaching is incorporated in mentorship. I'm
Hmm.
I'm talking to you and I'm pouring in my knowledge. Knowledge
Yeah.
comes from being that executed teacher or learning that knowledge. So for me, mentorship is everything. If I'm in your world, if I'm in your life, I'm necessary to you. And I have to be able to pour into you in the way that I need to pour into you. In return, it can be the same thing me. I don't believe that you can't pour into the person that's pouring into you. So mentorship for me means everything because I want to be sure that the people that in Eric or me, you're gonna lead me better than you came. So that's
Mm.
the biggest thing to me.
And that's a gift. Teaching, mentorship, that's a God-given gift.
I agree.
Yeah,
Everybody can't do it. Everybody ain't good at it. And then for you,
th-
it just
that's true.
comes natural. I love it.
So with the way you pour in, right? One of the big things that when I look at your story that I love again is the money. You help these children find money, right?
Yeah,
Because working at Title I school, right? Working with from historically excluded communities, that's what we hear a lot of, right? Can't go to college and I ain't got no money.
yeah,
Bet we want you to use somebody else's money and we're gonna go help you find it. What do you
right.
beyond just the scholarships though and the sports wins, what do you hope that Action No Mercy represents to the community that you serve, and how do you hope that you're gonna evolve this thing in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, the next 5 to 10 years, I want my own building. I
Mm,
want a building that is allowing athletes to come get training, allowing them to come get mentorship, mental health resources, a place that's safe, a place that they can be them, that they can grow and get the resources they need, whatever it might be. I want to have my pro athletes have that station as well. If they want to come get in the gym, get better before they go overseas or whatever, they have that opportunity. So for me, I really in the next 5 to 10 years, I really, really want that for the community. I want them to know that anybody within Action of Mercy, whether it's my staff, my board, or myself, I want the community to know we care. We're not just doing this so we have a business. I want them to know that we care. We want to be able to help one. It's too much going on in this world already. We got the craziest things going on in this world. And if I can help keep somebody on a straight path, I would love to do that for the rest of my days. I hate the way I was brought up. I didn't have a bad life, but I had to figure out the hard way a lot of times. And if I can save another black kid, athlete, student, family, that's all I want to do for the rest of my days.
That'll preach. That'll preach.
Man, to have the heart for that is a lot because there's so many people out here that just simply don't care.
Yeah,
They don't care.
absolutely.
And it's C knows I caught this like it's the hard work.
Hard work.
Sound like it's the hard work. I love it. So 20 years from now, if one of your athletes they become the leader that you are, a mentor like you, like what would you want them to say if they were to come on a podcast about
Say
you?
about me?
Yeah. And how you may have influenced them to become the leader that they became. And what role Action No Mercy played in their life and their journey.
Okay. I would love to hear my student athletes say in their darkest times when they are uncertain about their future, Coach Stringer cared enough to guide them to the success story. I have no doubt they would say that, but I really want them. I really want that story to unfold. That the reason why I am who I am today is because I believed in myself and I had a village that supported me. That's what Action on Mercy was to me. I would love to hear that from my student athletes, from my pro athletes at their old age. The same thing, Maybe it wasn't a
Grandpa.
dark hour. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a dark hour. Maybe it was I lived out a dream that I didn't know I could have. Or I could have been down this path, but I had this community that allowed me to be a part of a brothership or sistership, a family. I want anybody that ever was a part of Action Mercy, again, whether it was my photography or, my coordinators or my game day staff. I just want them to be able to say, I had the opportunity to do something for the community. That's all. I don't look for anything in return. In return, I just want people to be great. That's all. They don't owe me nothing.
Just go be great. Put it on the shirt.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
it. That's and think about that because that's what reminds you every single day. Like this is what I want, and if I'm putting myself in a position and I continue to show up and pour in them every single day, at some point, whether it's a podcast or somebody just knocking on your door, like thank you, it's priceless. It's priceless.
So I want to again thank you for sitting with us, Coach Stringer. I love the work that you do. Love your story of resilience and self-awareness. I don't think we've said that enough. Is the changes that you made, the successes that you had is because you knew you. And there's somebody listening right now that's lying to themselves about themselves. And I need you to know you need to be loose to that. You need to be honest. Love yourself enough to not lie to yourself about you. All right. And for folks who didn't get that message, where can our audience learn more about you so that they can get that message? And where can they learn more about your nonprofit? Because Giving Tuesday come around twice a year. They need to know where they need to be dropping their dollars in the community.
Yeah, for sure. You can find out everything about Action on Mercy at actiononmercy.com. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter or X now, we're on YouTube. I have a series called Rejected to Respected Out. You can actually follow through a couple of our student athletes' journey from zero offers to committing to go to college. We got a 3-part series on YouTube. Instagram, you can find all the offers, all the stories on there, shorter form, little reels. Pro teams, you can find highlights, all our events, or even myself when I have events coming up, training camps, when I'm traveling to do things with camps such as Girls and Boys. Everything is on all social media platforms. Coach D Stringer or Action on Mercy. You can find it all there.
All right, y'all. You're gonna find all those links in the description as well for you to click and show support, right? Again, this is hard work, this community work. Stop saying you for your community and actually do something, right? And support Coach Stringer and what she has going on for our athletes. turning scholars.
Speaking of all that she has going on, tell the people what's next, because I'm excited.
Oh man, November 1st. If you're in Atlanta, November 1st, we are doing our second 1v1 showcase. This is going to be the top players in the professional world. We'll have 6 cards. We'll have 2 women cards and 4 men cards. They'll be playing 1v1. It's an amazing event. We have all the community coming out. We got vendors, we got performers, we got DJs, we got photography, we got all the good things. And of course, the donations go towards helping the student athletes with anything they need, from college move-ins to application fill-outs to even going to visit the campus for tryouts. Everything that we're doing for this event is going straight to the kids. Come out and see some great professional basketball, man. It's not going to be something you want to miss.
We go, man. Pull up to the function.
Yeah,
ATL,
man. You
show
ain't
up.
doing nothing.
You ain't
Yes,
doing nothing
November
anyway.
1st.
November 1st. November 1st. Pull up to the function. Amazing. Coach Stringer, I thank you so much for joining us here today.
Sure.
What final message do you want to leave for student athletes and the coaches that are listening?
Man, for the student athletes, believe in yourself. Find somebody that's going to pour into you, whether it's your high school coach, your middle school coach, somebody that you just know that's been watching your game. Believe in yourself, take the step, and do not regret anything that you have done, but always try to do something that's going to make it better for you in the future. For the coaches, keep doing the right thing by these kids. These kids have enough to deal with in the world, enough rejection, neglect, all those things. Pour into these kids and do not use these kids for your own gain.
Word. That's
See how
the
she
You
word.
say
smiled
that.
at the answer.
I need to say that.
Yeah, you heard what she said.
But really, I hope y'all heard what she said, man, because
Yeah.
we've been blessed today, Coach String, and I want to again thank you for sitting with us. I want to thank the folks who've been listening for listening to us. I want to thank the folks who've been watching for watching us. Tish, man, tell the people what you cooking up, man. Tell them where they can find you. What's going on in the world of Tish Johnson.
Yeah, man. Again, as always, if you are a coach with a team in any athletic sport and you would love for me to come in and do a workshop with your athletes to talk about athlete transition and career coaching, I would happily serve you guys. You can reach me at info@teachjohnson.com or visit the website at teachjohnson.com. And again, we kicking off our locker room to legacy coaching program. So for the current, former athlete and coaches, if you are looking to build income and influence beyond the game, whether in season or out of season, or in your afterlife, and you're trying to figure out what's next, let's figure that out. All right. Visit competitiveedgeleadershipacademy.com.
All right, and already the Instagram handles at the Mental Locker Room on IG. Follow us on YouTube, and then just a little plug for me. Follow my Substack. I do a lot of my creative writing. The Revolution will not be televised. All the places you could play, you decide to play in my face. Like, I got a lot of creative writing stuff on my Substack, so y'all come out, show a little love, do a little reading, and then if you do nothing else this week, be good people. We'll see y'all next time.
See, God told me to start this podcast, and then He told me to call you. The time is now. You ready?
I got you, T. Let's do it.